very much. How are you guys?
Good.
Welcome to Detroit. Thank you for getting that one. We've been lucky enough to have a situation rise up in Sacramento where we needed a second on sale. That second on sale is going to be in about 25 minutes. So if we're in the middle of this or in the middle of one-on-ones, I might ask for a little 15-minute window to go check that out and come right back. I appreciate your patience on that. Sorry, we just didn't plan on this. So we never do really much of an opening statement. I'm better at talking with you than talking at you. Just ready. This is a great place to play. Great market. And some of my fondest memories on the road happened in this city from the very first gig on. So this is going to be fun. Guys are pumped, they're ready, and can't wait to get out to sound check to check out the building. If you wouldn't mind, though, just asking questions, that would make me feel a lot more comfortable. You can tell I'm not very comfortable. But when you do, if you'd introduce yourself so I'd know who I'm talking to, please. Thank you.
On WXYZ-TV Detroit.
How you doing?
Walk me through that first time that you came to Detroit, biggest number of people that you had ever played for, your first time in Detroit. Walk me through that whole experience.
Well, I just remember some reason the stage was really high. You could see people out, and the thing, it was cold. I remember the piano tuner getting about halfway through the piano and the guy going, "We're on." That was it. So Dave Gant, the guy that was playing piano then, is playing piano now. But I just noticed he went out and just slid his piano bench over to the right side of the piano and just stayed on that, all day long. It was cool. I remember looking back and seeing Kathy Mattea. Her jaw was dropped because I don't think she'd ever seen someone like us. I get really excited, unfortunately, when I play, and I think that was the first taste of it. And then I got to watch George Jones that night from my hotel room. I had a hotel room that looked out over the plaza, and I got to see him, cried like a baby all night long the whole time he played. So great day for me, great memory for me. I was actually with the basic 7 guys that cut all the records, so it was cool. It was the studio cats. It wasn't the guys you'll see tonight, other than Dave Gant was the piano player for that gig too. Yes, sir.
So, Girl, Stephen Clark with Channel 7 WXYZ-TV. Why come back now after 13 years off? Weren't you kind of getting used to leisure?
Being a dad's the greatest gift on the planet. It's a wonderful thing. But once your babies leave, I guess I got so much into being a dad. Once your babies leave, I didn't have a job. It's kind of weird, man. As the house went from 3 girls to 2, it really wasn't much of a difference. But when it went from 2 to 1, it was like a morgue around there. And I felt bad for our youngest because she knew I still wanted her to hang around with Dad, but she was ready to go off too. So it was one of those things where I finally pulled Miss Sherwood over and I said, "Hell, I don't know what I'm going to do because I've got all this time and I'm not good with it. I'm not a guy that's good with time on my hand." And she said, "What would you think about playing music again?" And I couldn't believe it was her that said it. I said, "Shit, you kidding me? They're never going to let me back in, but if they would, I'd take it in a heartbeat." And we've been very lucky so far. We're very blessed. I don't know. We'll see. The touring world, I think I'm going to, I don't want to be whatever it is, but I feel welcome in the touring world. I mean, they've made me feel really good so far. Music world, we'll see, and then the industry, we'll see after that. But right now, we're just on the fringe of all that stuff. Yes, sir.
Max White, WXYZ. First of all, welcome back to Detroit.
Thanks, Max.
It's been 18 years since you were here. What can fans who've seen you before and fans who haven't seen you before expect from your show?
Well, the cool thing about today is versus in the 90s is a lot of the data, everybody is data mining. That's just what we do. We collect data. And so Ticketmaster probably is one of the best at it. And so they're telling us between 43 and 48% people buying tickets, half the arena, were either 10 years old or not born yet when we toured last. So, yeah, so you know who I'm talking to. So it's cool to see the faces that you hoped you would remember seeing from playing before. And then it's great to see the other half that, were too young then. But the crazy thing is, both halves know every word to every verse to every song, which is cool. We stopped the show in Atlanta. Forgive me, I've told this story 1,000 times. We stopped the show in Atlanta because this little girl on the right, the Garth shirt she was wearing was older than she was. I knew it. I knew that shirt. I knew when we had it out, and I could tell she wasn't that old. And turned out it was her dad's. And we just stopped the show and just had a conversation. But so it's cool. It's cool to see them show up, and it's cool to get to now introduce them to things like swing, which I'm not sure a lot of younger kids, when it comes to country music, get that immersed in swing. So it's good to do that. You know, you've got that kind of a whatever it is on your shoulders, that you need to educate these kids on what your country music was, and they'll educate you on what their current country music is. Yes, ma'am.
How did you decide to do all the ticket prices for the same price for the whole arena?
First of all, your name is
Danelle.
Sorry. We do not. We've never done what's called a tier or a golden circle. For one simple reason, and forgive me, I'm going to get emotional, but it's it would break my heart if I went to a concert and my kid said, "Hey, how come we're not sitting down there?" and I said, "We can't afford it." That would break my heart to tell my kid that. But now they say, "How come we're not sitting down there?" It's luck of the draw. You just put it in, and if you get down there, you get down there. If you don't, you don't. And it's cool. So my job is to make them not even go care about down there. What my job is to make them feel like they're the only person in the room, because they make me feel like I'm the only guy in the room. So that's our job when we go out. So that, and people have been very sweet to talk about the ticket price, saying that comparatively, but let's face it, that's a lot of money. That's a ton of money, and you never go alone. Double it. Here comes, if you're going to bring your kids, double that. If you don't, then babysitter. Let's talk about if you want to go to dinner. And you're going to get here, if you're going to park, you want to buy a shirt or a beer. I mean, this night gets totally out there. So we feel it's our responsibility that when someone that comes to see us play walks out of here, they look at that ticket and they go, "You know what? If those guys come back, I'll come back." That's kind of the goal that we want. Yes, sir.
Tom Tesno, Magazine Country Music.
Hey, Tom.
I interviewed you in '89 at the Fox. You had opened up for Kenny Rogers.
Yes.
Which I thought you were a comedy actor.
So did Kenny. Yes.
But anyhow, back in the day, you thank God, of course, for your success that had the break. But you also, when you were at the Bluebird Cafe, there were 7 people
Right.
auditioning that night, and Lynn Schultz came up, and you took the second place. And you said you didn't know who the person who was supposed to fill that second chair that you went ahead and
Right.
replaced. Did you ever find out who that person was?
Ralph Murphy. Great songwriter, great Canadian. He just went to the Canadian Music Hall of Fame. He's a good guy, sweet guy, but it was Ralph Murphy that, and if you know Ralph, he's always late, so that was a blessing for
Did
me.
he end up coming or talking to you about it?
Oh yeah, me and Ralph, we were friends before and after, so I knew him before and knew him after. I just didn't realize that was Ralph Murphy's spot when I told that story. Yeah.
Another one quick.
Yeah, of course.
Your mom, Colleen, did you ever get a chance to do a duet with her? Because you was talking about doing it in 1990.
No, we never did, but the great thing about technology is she made records. So that's not out of the,
You worked with Patsy Cline, did it back up Patsy Cline back in the 50s.
yeah, down in Louisiana hayride, and said, "Yes, sir."
Your niece was with you at the time that I interviewed you.
Okay.
Your niece, is she in entertainment now, or is she using another name or anything?
I'm trying to think who that would be.
Because your niece, your wife, and you were there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of any niece that I would have had at that age, because I've only got one niece, and it might have been, well, it wouldn't have been Sandy's because she doesn't have a niece, so I'll think on that and get back with you on that. Yes, sir.
Hey, Sam McClain, Just Talk with Sam podcast. I got one question.
Yes, sir.
You guys, well, I have many questions, but I want to jump.
You're fine, Sam.
But you've been noted to say about this tour that you're making the 90s tour look small in comparison. My question is, how? You were big. I mean, it was crazy.
Sweet.
You are synonymous with country music. Your name, period.
It's very sweet, and thank you for this chance, Sam. I'm not making this tour, I'm not making the 90s tour look small. The attendance is making the 90s tour look small. When we came out, we said if we do 50% of what we did in the 90s, we would feel good. Well, the average on sale is about 130% right now of what we did in the 90s. It's crazy. Just wonderful. Lucky enough to get an attendance record here as well. So we've got 2 cities that so far on this tour that we did not break the attendance record on, And both of those attendance records were held by us in the 90s. So I guess if you have to lose to somebody, damn it, you know. But that's a fun thing. So I don't think it's us that's making this tour bigger than the 90s was. But I think it's the people that show up. And I got to tell you, I don't know how they're doing it, because in the 90s I thought they were loud. But this stuff here, and I don't know how they do it either, because now they've got an iPhone, one hand, and they've got a beer that is this size now, you know, in the other, and you're wondering how in the hell are they clapping? How are they getting so loud? But you just wait. It's the craziest thing.
I usually put my beer on my knees so I can
Yeah, that's because you're setting. These people won't set. Watch what I mean. It'll amaze you, man. These people are crazy. Thank God.
don't want to waste a good beer.
Yes, ma'am.
Sandra McNeil, CBS Radio.
Hi, Miss Sandra.
How hard is it to sing 6 shows in 3 days?
That's the only thing is the voice. You know, the fat ass, I'll get over that. I'll drag it around. People will let me be me. But the voice, I haven't been able to run through a city yet where it didn't disappear on me. And thank God the people just seem to kind of step in for you. Like, hey, we'll sing for you, and that's what they do. So, but this one is going to be kind of different. Detroit is the first one where we've actually had 3 take off and have 3. I mean, we were lucky enough to get 2 weekends here. So this will be really good. So I'm hoping that the show quality itself, as far as the voice, is the best of any city we've had yet.
Are you going to hear a little Motown tonight?
Problem is, I'm the squarest, whitest guy on the planet, you know. So doing anything Motown is pretty much out of my league. But we'll see what happens. Yes, sir.
Gary Graff here from Billboard.
Hey, Gary.
It's a different world now than
Yeah.
the last time you toured. There's different sounds of country music, and the business is different. How are you feeling about that?
Which one you want to take on? The sounds. The sounds progress. That's what they do. They reflect off other music. So now we have drum loops and stuff. That's cool, because we had big rock guitars, you know, from the 70s and 80s and the 90s country. And then Jason Aldean now has brought a whole different level to big guitars into country music, which I think is a good thing. The business we could go on for hours about. The business is tough. The business, you know, were you around in the 90s in the music business? Well, then you knew content was king. Right now, technology is king. That's tough, because in music and in entertainment, content should always 100% be king. But right now, the tail's wagging the dog.
Talk a little about what you're going to do with Ghost Tunes and how you're going to keep developing.
Well, you just, with Ghost Tunes, what you do is you just try and do what's right. And what's right is whatever the copyright owner wants to do with their music, they do it. If they want to give it away, give it away. If they want to sell singles, sell singles. If they want to sell albums, sell albums. Concept, whatever, it's their stuff. We're lucky to be a bridge between the people that make music and the people that consume it. We feel very lucky. There are other companies that make you feel lucky to be working with them. That's a little tough, because for me, content still is always going to be king, and if content's king, great content is Elvis. You know what I mean? I mean, that's the big bomb there. So just like to see it get back to that. I don't know if we ever will, but that's what I'd like to see for music's sake. Yes, sir.
Todd Jolliker, 100% Rock.
Todd?
Todd, you talk about content being king. So true, especially in a live setting. You set the standard for a country show. You took a rock show, you took what you loved, and put it on stage with you. How are you going to keep that energy and that feeling alive coming back?
You'll see music is timeless, for one, and the energy that comes from music is timeless. And the people that come to see it, when those two energies meet, then you're going to look around. I promise you, I've been to more Garth Brooks shows than anybody else in here. 5 minutes into this thing, you'll be going, holy crap. It'll just be the audience you watch. There's something that happens. They come here, it's a love fest. They come here to have fun. And they're the only person in the building. You'll see people tonight singing like you would not believe. And you go, I would have never guessed that person. They're totally uninhibited. They know they come here. They know it's fair game. Come here, have fun, raise your voice. That's what we do. So that energy kind of provides itself. And again, I can only show you once you've seen it. You know. Thank you. Yes, sir.
The tour's been going on for 6 months now. How are you feeling?
I feel great. I feel fantastic. This is my wife's worst nightmare right here. Someone said, how long do you want to tour? I said, till I get tired. I've never, ever got to go till I get tired in music. And Miss Yearwood rolls her eyes and goes, oh my God, that'll be never. Because she knows me. I'm having the best time. And I feel like in the 90s I was a gracious person. I mean, if that means grateful. I feel like I didn't take things for granted. But there's something about getting to do it again that makes you 1,000 times more grateful than you've ever been. You look around the stage and you see the guys you've been playing with. We'll introduce all of them individually tonight, and we'll start with the rookie, affectionately called the rookie, because he's been with us the shortest term, and this past November was our 20th year together. So you look at these guys and you realize how grateful they are too. You can see it in their face. So again, once you see them get out there and get hooked up, it's a beautiful thing to watch. Yes, sir.
John Gonzalez from MLive.com.
Hey, John.
Thinking back to those 90s when you played a lot of cities in Michigan, not just Detroit.
Right.
Small towns, county fairs and so forth. Do you have any memories from those early shows in Michigan and maybe anything that sticks out over the years?
Oh, sure, man. All of them. East Lansing is a fantastic place for us to play, and that's been a home for us. We even went up, to the UP up there and played a little county fair up there, which was fantastic. So this is just a great market. They know their music here, and they seem very appreciative, which I love. And just to make sure you guys know, we have the 200-mile, 6-month kind of rule we're trying to apply to this tour, making each city its own destination. That's why no cities are announced. That's why you're not going to see, okay, if he's in Detroit, that means he's going to be in East Lansing next week because it routes. It makes each city a destination and hopefully a party. It makes it a place to come in, fly in. If you're going to come see him, bring your daughter. Hey, we're going to have a dad-daughter weekend, and we're going to fly in and see him in Detroit. We're trying to make sure that the city and the arena become this host site for people that are traveling to make it an event. But just because of that, don't rule out East Lansing. Don't rule out other places, around here, because this is a fun way to spend your days, and I can't find enough places to play, to tell you the truth.
Just a quick follow-up.
Yes, sir.
I know you're an emotional person.
Yes, sorry.
When this tour started in Chicago, how many times have you kind of just lost it?
Lost it today. I'm sitting here walking. First of all, the building here has, when you walk backstage, there's a big-ass G. I mean, it's bigger than me, sitting right there. 20 feet down the thing's a big-ass A, and here it comes, G, A on this banner. I'm sitting here, and I'm cool. I feel good. I'm like, this is very sweet of them. Where I lose it, right around the corner, starts T, R, I, and I lost it. I just did. It's very sweet. Sometimes when you're celebrity couples, whenever in the cooking world I get lost. I'm a great cook. Just kidding. But in music, because the tour is so large, the other person in this couple that has more Grammys and is by far more talented sometimes gets lost. And to see that this building and this town reflected myself and her, I lost it. I love it. I feel grateful. It's cool. Yes, sir.
I'm actually letting people on Facebook ask questions.
Okay.
So, Chelsea Steigerwald wants to know, because Trisha's a wonderful cook, has she ever whipped up something that didn't turn out so well? And if so, what was it?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been some pans thrown down the hallway. Trust me, and they were full when they were thrown. But the thing with her is, I call her Seabiscuit, which everyone goes, "Oh my God, you just call your wife a horse?" She's Seabiscuit. If you're singing next to her, she's going to size you up, and then she's going to blow you away. If she's cooking, if she gets beat, she's going to. It's 11 o'clock at night, honey. I'm going to the grocery store because she's going to try it again immediately. She has to. She gets in. That's what I love about her. She's very competitive with herself and with all that she does. So yeah, she's had some things that didn't turn out great, but ended up being fantastic because that's who she is. Yes, sir.
Guy Gordon, WXYZ-TV.
Hey, guy.
What's next? You get this incredible tour. You've satisfied the question about whether or not the demand is there. What about the supply looking down the horizon?
Guy, what is next is to continue. That's what's next, is to get this 24/7 for as long as you want it. That's what it is, because that's never happened in our business. There's nobody that has gone as long as they wanted to and got to leave on their terms. They just never did. Either like some of the greatest bands in the world have either broke up, or someone's died in them, or an artist's life has been cut short, or the industry throws you out. But never ever do you get to go and do whatever you want, you know, unless you're Frank Sinatra. And that, I think that's what you want. That's what's next, is trying to do this on your own terms, which, with the business doing what it is, doing it on your own terms is a hell of a ride right now. It's tough. Yes, sir.
Following up on the Tricia question, what's it like, now you're an empty nester, you're out there celebrating this comeback with Tricia by your side every night. That's gotta feel
Fantastic. Now, know that when we started touring, Sandy and I were married. We didn't have cell phones, so I wasn't much of a partner to her. I'd go 3 or 4 days without contacting her on the road. You'd find a payphone booth somewhere and talk for 3 minutes, and that was it. So the guilt kind of sets in early. Then when they hand you your first child, now the guilt really starts to set in, because your parents were there at everything you ever did. Whether you played the game or sat on the bench, they were there. So that gets into your soul and your spirit. So eventually you have to just walk away. Raise your kids, go through a divorce, and lose your mom all in the same year. It's tough for me. But now coming back, the kids are now on their own lives in college. They'll text me every now and then. That's the only way I get to hear from them. And you're touring with the love of your life. So right now, it couldn't be better, you know, knock on wood and thank God. It's been good. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I got one more. It's been reported that you recently jumped on social media. You have welcomed it. You have become a bit of a techie in the last few years. Ghost tunes, social media, whatever. One thing I want to know, as far as social media, was that more your wife or kids pulling you into the digital age, or was it just something you just felt you needed to do?
No, I think it was the industry, my own people going, you need to get into this, whether you want to or not. And the truth is, you're scared of anything you don't know. That's just what we do. Once you got in it, you realize, holy cow, this just eliminated all the walls between me and the people that allow me to be an artist. Now, dude, now my wife's going, are you ever going to stop doing that? Because I said Twitter is my favorite because it's just instant, back and forth. Facebook, it was great. During that day, they said, Twitter's more like the moment, Facebook's more like the day. Well, did I feel hip saying that right then? That was cool. Do I understand that? No, but I'm getting to understand it. So Facebook is a little more of the bigger stories. Twitter, I like that one-on-one stuff when someone says, hey, man, I'm out here in row 12, whatever, and you click right back going, just got out of the shower, I'm getting dressed, I can't wait to get out there, and then you get an OMG, I can't believe you replied, and then it's so much fun, back and forth. That stuff's cool. Yes. Oh, what? Oh, it's 3 o'clock? Okay. If you guys will give me, if for those that can't stay, I totally understand. If you guys will give me 10 minutes, 15 minutes, hopefully, I'll be right back.